Have you ever sat completely alone in the dark, in total silence, asking yourself why life keeps dealing you the same kind of pain? Have you ever handed someone the most precious parts of yourself? Your loyalty, your love, your complete and utter trust, only for them to take all of it and leave you in pieces you never even knew existed? Have you ever cried so quietly that nobody heard you, wondering deep down whether the aching would ever truly stop? I know that feeling. I know it in my bones. And I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you know it too. But I need you to stay with me right now. Because what I am about to tell you is going to change the way you see everything that has happened to you. That pain they gave you, every single drop of it, is going to find its way back to them. Not because you wished it, not because you chased it, but because that is simply, undeniably, how life works. Pain is a boomerang. Now think about that for a moment. Really sit with it. Whatever a person throws out into this world, whether it's warmth and generosity or cruelty and deception, it begins a journey the moment it leaves their hands. It doesn't matter how much time passes. It doesn't matter how far away that person moves, how many new relationships they build, or how convincingly they've managed to reinvent themselves. That energy they released is still in motion. It is still traveling, and one day, without warning, without announcement, it will come spinning back around and land exactly where it started. Not always in the same shape, not always with the same force, but it will land. And when it does, there is no escaping it. People go through life genuinely believing they can wound others and simply walk away without consequence. They tell themselves that what they've done doesn't matter, that the person they hurt will get over it. That time erases everything, and for a while, they almost convince themselves it's true. They move forward. They laugh. They sleep soundly. They start fresh chapters as though the chapters they destroyed never existed. But life is far more precise than that. The universe, whatever you believe it to be, keeps an extraordinary record. Every act of betrayal, every calculated lie, every moment of deliberate cruelty sends something out into existence, a force, an energy, a ripple, and that ripple does not stop moving until it has completed its full journey home. This isn't revenge. This isn't some bitter wish from a wounded heart. This is simply the natural order of things. What you put into the world, you will eventually receive from it. If you plant seeds of suffering in another person's life, you cannot reasonably expect to harvest peace in your own. If you choose deception as your way of moving through the world, do not be surprised when the world deceives you in return. If you break someone's spirit, chip away at their confidence, their dignity, their sense of worth. Understand that yours will not remain intact forever either. That is not a curse. That is balance. That is the quiet, patient, unstoppable law of cause and effect, doing exactly what it was always designed to do. And here's what makes it so fascinating, and perhaps so frustrating when you on the receiving end of someone else's cruelty. It doesn't always come back through the same person. The one who betrayed you may not be the one who betrays them. The one who abandoned you in your darkest hour may not be abandoned by you. life is far more creative than that. A person who spent years deceiving those around them may one day find that nobody in their life can be trusted. A person who walked away when someone needed them most may one day look around and find themselves completely, devastatingly alone. A person who broke hearts carelessly over and over again may one day experience a heartbreak so profound it changes them entirely. The pain echoes. It reverberates through time and circumstance until it finds exactly the right moment, exactly the right form, exactly the right door to knock on. Now, the thing about pain that most people miss, the thing that makes it so much more powerful than a simple wound, is that it teaches. Every single experience of suffering carries within it a lesson. And what determines whether a person breaks free from the cycle or remains trapped in it forever is whether or not they choose to learn. Those who cause pain and never once stop to examine what they've done, those who hurt and move on without remorse, without reflection, without a single moment of honest self-examination, they don't escape anything. They simply delay it. They keep running, but the pain they created runs faster. They seek happiness in new people, new places, new distractions, but nothing sticks. Nothing brings the peace they're chasing. Because you cannot outrun what you have set in motion. It follows you. It waits. And eventually, usually in the quietest, most unexpected moment, it catches up. There are people walking through life right now who genuinely believe they are untouchable. They've spent years manipulating, betraying, and discarding others. They've watched people crumble because of their choices and felt nothing. They've convinced themselves that their actions don't carry weight, that consequences are for other people, that the rules of cause and effect somehow don't apply to them. But life is not built on avoidance. It is built on balance. Every choice carries a vibration. Every action sends something out into the world, and no matter how long it takes, that vibration finds its way back to its source. Pain does not forget an address. It may take a detour. It may weave through different seasons of your life before it arrives at its final destination, but it always arrives. Sometimes it comes quietly. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a loss so profound it stops a person in their track. Sometimes it shows up as regret, that slow, creeping realization in the middle of the night that the things they once dismissed actually mattered. Sometimes it comes through the very things they once took for granted, the love they threw away, the trust they squandered, the people they treated as disposable. And when it arrives, it doesn't tiptoe in. It doesn't knock politely and wait to be invited. It comes with the full weight of everything that was once ignored, dismissed, minimized, and justified. It comes as a storm that strips away every carefully constructed illusion. A storm that forces a person to stand face to face with everything they once chose to look away from. A storm that makes them truly feel what they once refused to acknowledge in the hearts of others. Some people call this karma. Others call it divine justice. Some call it the law of energy, or cosmic balance, or simply the natural consequence of human choices. The name doesn't matter. What matters is the principle underneath all of those names. And that principle is unchanging. What you send out, you receive. What you break will eventually be broken within you. What you take from another will one day be taken from you, not as punishment from some external force sitting in judgment, but as the inevitable, undeniable, beautifully precise result of the energy you put into the world. Life balances the scales. Not always on our timeline, not always in the way we expect, but always, always in the end. And for those who have been wronged, for those who are lying awake right now, wondering whether the person who hurt them will ever truly understand what they did, the answer is yes. But perhaps not in the way you're imagining. Some people suffer openly. Some fall apart publicly. But many, many more than you'd expect suffer in complete silence. They appear untouched. They post the smiling photos. They move on loudly. They seem, to the outside world, like they've got everything sorted. But behind closed doors, they are crumbling because the energy they created is catching up with them. It moves quietly through their relationships, through their sense of self, through the moments of stillness, when there is nothing left to distract them from the truth of who they are and what they have done. When a person causes genuine harm to another, they set something into motion that extends far beyond the moment itself. They may think the story ends there, with the hurt they caused and the distance they created. But the story doesn't end there. The energy they released is still moving through the world, through time, through people, through circumstances they cannot anticipate or control. And the universe, patient as it is precise, continues working long after the moment has passed, long after the person responsible has convinced themselves they've moved on. It doesn't operate on human timelines. It doesn't care about convenience. It delivers what is due when the moment is right, and not a second before. Pain is not erased by a new relationship. It is not dissolved by success or money or the appearance of happiness. It is not undone by simply choosing to forget. It lingers in the fabric of a person's life. It waits in the spaces between distractions. And when those distractions fall away, when the noise quiets and the busyness ends, and a person is left alone with themselves, that pain is still there, still waiting, still asking to be acknowledged. And sometimes it doesn't return as a single, manageable drop of consequence. Sometimes it returns as everything at once. A wave, a flood, a force that cannot be argued with, bargained with, or outrun. Because that is the nature of accumulated, unaddressed pain. It grows in the dark, and when it finally finds the light, it demands to be seen in full. Now here's where this becomes about you, not them, you. Because whilst all of that is unfolding, whilst the universe quietly, methodically delivers what was set in motion, your job is something entirely different. Your job is to rise. Life is going to test you. It already has, hasn't it? It will throw obstacles in your path at the most inconvenient, most exhausting, most demoralizing moments imaginable. People will betray you. Some will look you directly in the eyes, tell you exactly what you want to hear, and then do the opposite. Some will walk away in your most vulnerable moments, when the weight of everything feels unbearable and all you needed was one person to stay. Some will chip away at your confidence so gradually, so subtly, that by the time you notice the damage, you can barely remember what you felt like before them. Circumstances will shake you. There will be seasons of life where nothing makes sense, where every door seems closed, where your efforts seem to produce nothing, where you wonder whether you have anything left to give. But no matter what happens, No matter how relentlessly life tries to bring you to your knees, your job is to rise. You were not placed on this earth to live in defeat. You were not given this life with all of its complexity and richness and possibility so that you could spend it broken on the floor. The world can be harsh. People can be extraordinarily cruel, and pain can feel, in its most intense moments, like something you will simply never recover from. But you were made for more than survival. You were made for more than simply enduring. Every hardship you have faced, every struggle that has left its mark on you, every tear you have cried in the quiet hours when nobody was watching. None of it was designed to destroy you. All of it was designed to strengthen you. You may not see it that way right now. The purpose may be completely invisible to you in this moment. But trust this, your only responsibility in the midst of all of it is to keep rising. There will be mornings that feel impossible, when the weight of everything you've ever been carrying presses down so heavily that getting out of bed feels like an act of enormous courage, when exhaustion has settled so deeply into your bones that you genuinely wonder whether you can take another step. When your heart is tired, when your spirit feels completely hollowed out, when even the smallest task feels monumental. And it is precisely in those moments, not the easy ones, not the triumphant ones, but those quiet, heavy, grinding moments that you must remind yourself why you are here. You are not here to be defeated. You are not here so that life can make an example of you. You are here to rise, even slowly, even imperfectly, even one tiny, barely noticeable step at a time. People will doubt you. They will look at your dreams and see delusion. They will hear your ambitions and respond with skepticism. They will tell you, sometimes directly, sometimes through their silence, that you are not quite enough, not clever enough, not talented enough, not fortunate enough, not ready. And here is the truth about every single person who has ever said something like that to you. Their words are not about you. They are a precise and accurate reflection of their own fears, their own ceilings, their own privately held beliefs about what is possible. Their limitations do not belong to you. Their doubt is not your reality. They do not get to decide what your future looks like. That is your decision. Yours alone. The people who try to dim your light do so because they are afraid of what happens when it burns at full brightness. They see something in you, a potential, a drive, a resilience that makes them uncomfortable because it reminds them of what they themselves have not yet become. And rather than doing the work to rise themselves, it feels easier in the short term to try and pull you back down. But that is not your burden. You are not responsible for managing their discomfort. Your job has never been to make yourself smaller so that others feel less threatened by your existence. Your job, your only job, is to rise. Failure is coming. Let's be completely honest about that. It is not a possibility lurking somewhere in the distance. It is a guarantee, and a necessary one. You will make mistakes. You will take risks that don't pay off. You will put your heart into things that fall apart. You will stumble, sometimes spectacularly, in ways that feel deeply humiliating and discouraging. But failure is not the end of your story. Failure is the beginning of the most important part of it. Every time you fall and drag yourself back up, you build something that cannot be taught, cannot be given, and cannot be faked. You build the kind of character that withstands anything. The difference between the people who eventually reach something extraordinary and those who do UNT is almost never raw talent or perfect circumstances. It is almost always this one thing: the refusal to stay down, the stubborn, relentless, sometimes infuriating refusal to accept that the last fall was the final one. Pain will be part of this journey. There is no version of a meaningful life that is pain-free. You will lose people you love deeply. You will experience heartbreak that leaves you genuinely wondering how something invisible can hurt this much physically. You will be disappointed by people and situations you had invested everything in. You will face moments of betrayal that rewrite everything you thought you knew about a person, about a relationship, about yourself. And in those moments, the pain will feel completely and utterly unbearable. It will shake the very foundations of who you are. But pain is also one of the most extraordinary teachers life has to offer. It reveals your true strength in ways that comfort and ease never could. It shows you with brutal clarity what genuinely matters and what was always just noise. It strips away the unnecessary and leaves you with something real. The pain you are enduring today, as impossible as it feels right now, will become the strength you carry tomorrow. But only if you choose to rise from it rather than remain buried beneath it. Fear will try to stop you at every turn. It is relentless and creative, and it knows exactly which buttons to press. It will whisper that you are not ready when an opportunity appears. It will remind you of every previous failure when you're on the verge of trying again. It will dress itself up as common sense and caution and practicality, all to keep you exactly where you are. But fear is a liar. It always has been. Its entire purpose is to keep you small, keep you comfortable, keep you from stepping into the life you were actually built for. And the only way to deal with it is to move forward anyway, not after it disappears, because it won't disappear by waiting, but right through the middle of it. Every time you act despite fear, every time you take a step forward whilst your knees are shaking, you demonstrate something to yourself that no amount of reassurance from the outside world could ever replicate. You prove that you are stronger than what is trying to hold you back. People will leave. Some will go quietly, slipping out of your life so gradually you almost don't notice, until one day you look around and realize they were simply not there anymore. Some will leave loudly, dramatically, in ways that leave scars. Some will walk away at the precise moment you needed them to stay. And the temptation, the almost overwhelming, entirely human temptation, will be to chase them, to reach out one more time, to explain yourself, justify yourself, beg them to reconsider. But please, hear this. Do not chase people who have chosen to leave. Do not shrink yourself, silence yourself, or exhaust yourself trying to convince someone to see your worth. The people who are genuinely meant to be in your life will not require convincing. They will stand with you through the messy and imperfect and difficult seasons. Not because you earn their loyalty through endless sacrifice, but because they want to be there. Everyone else who has walked away, let them go with dignity. Not every person is meant to walk the full journey with you. Some people are chapters. Some are single paragraphs. And when their time in your story is complete, Your only job is to turn the page and keep moving. There will be moments of profound loneliness, moments where the silence around you feels so vast and so heavy that you wonder if anyone in the world truly understands what you're carrying. Moments where it feels as though you are bearing the entire weight of your life completely alone, without support, without witness, without comfort. But in those moments, even in the very darkest and most isolating of them, remember this: you are never as alone as it feels. There is something greater than any single moment of pain watching over your journey, moving things quietly into position, working in ways that are completely invisible to you right now but will one day make perfect, extraordinary sense. Your struggles are not purposeless. Your pain is not wasted. Everything, absolutely everything that you have been through is preparing you for something larger than you can currently imagine. But you must rise to meet it. You must keep going long enough to see it. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your night. May you find deep peace and restful sleep. Wishing you the sweetest dreams. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.